Hi there. This video is kind of different from what I've done before. I'm going to go into a lot of detail about the good and the challenges of the Kettlewell Frictionless Mouthpiece slider. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the ERGO button, just a lot more detail, what it's like to experience playing with them, what it makes better, and maybe what it makes a little harder too, to be fair. I'm using one of my favorite harps. It's owned by the David Deibel. It's available at mastersofharmonica.com. It is a Deibel Symphony 48 orchestra tuned that is sold actually with a magnetic button, but that has been replaced with a Kettlewell ERGO button and is very, very quick, and it's of course spring driven now, not magnet. But let me play it a little bit for you and then we'll get into the slider. So, let's get into it a little bit. The basics are that it used to be your lips would go left and right on the mouthpiece, lubricated by spit or saliva. And you had to reshape your lips to each hole. And what this thing does, which is handmade, is that it moves left and right on a thin film of light slide oil that I use. And so it goes left and right without the use of saliva. And nor does the lip have to reshape because the lip sits static, relaxed. Muscles aren't being used on the slider. It's kind of like a flute mouthpiece, kind of. So, and the harp still bends. Still just as airtight. So it changes the way it feels to go to new note hole positions. But I would say that the biggest change is that my mouth is more relaxed in play. And I like that. You can also straddle two holes. Play two side by side. But it was designed in such a way where if you don't want the slider, you take it off. And the harp is not, it is not modified in any way. You can just play it as a regular harp. You want to use a slider, use a slider. You don't want to use a slider? Here. I like it well enough that it's the only configuration I play now. Everything that I play has a slider. It took me a while to do the transition, and I didn't transition because I wanted to transition. It's because I liked it. I liked the way it felt in play. And I still do. It certainly helps to have an airtight harp like a Deibel Symphony 48, which is just an absolutely incredible instrument in its design. I have a video on that. So let's get into a little bit about what does this harp do with a slider that maybe is different. Listen to a couple of contiguous notes. the slider cuts the air. Here's what it sounds like without the slider. See, it's a gentler, softer strike to the note, where this now, if I want the softer start to the note, I can create it. I'm going to do that with that yang-ya shape in the mouth. So I can get what you get with the conventional, but I can also do the clear cut. That beautiful orchestra tuning gives you that rich center section of it's actually the center 12 holes of a 16 hole. That's what orchestra tuning is. But so I would say the nice part is mainly, I would say from a player perspective, relaxation of the embouchure and the mouth when playing. That's a big plus. What's a downside? It's a little harder to hit the notes right on. It's a skill that you develop and you work on because it's a new ergonomic. I also am not happy when I have to clean a harp. I don't know. I guess I resent it. That's not fair, is it? But I want my harp to stay clean. And so it doesn't stay perfectly clean with a slider, but much cleaner. I'd say 80% better because you still have breath going in. You just don't have saliva spewing into the harp. But you do have, of course, moisture in your breath. So it's not 100% that it doesn't need to be cleaned, but a whole bunch less. So you have that. So basically the way these things are made is it's a chunk of lucite, and I shape the underside to match the mouthpiece and fit them so that they're totally airtight. And then the top part is shaped, various shapes, to fit. This is a blue one. So that's kind of how that works. Now, what about the ERGO button? What's going on here? Well, this is about comfort of attack at all angles. This is about where I play most of the time, right on that edge, and it's rounded. So it's bulbous and rounded, and it's called ERGO because of ergonomics. So would I say that the slider is better than a conventional harp? No. It's different. It's just different. For some players, it might be an option. I want to play with the slider. I want to play without the slider. But it's different. It does provide me with a relaxed playing experience. I really, really like that. And I prefer that the harp is cleaner. It's a little harder to hit those notes, though. It doesn't really affect the use of the hands to shape sound or the use of embouchure to shape sound. I mean, you still have full control. Still vibrato, still the bend. It doesn't change those things. So that's kind of the scoop on that. And I thought you'd enjoy, just hearing a little bit more about them. They're all handmade. There's no inventory kept somewhere. Deibel has some of my customized instruments for sale at mastersofharmonica.com. You can look at them, pictures of them. There's Suzuki Fabulous, Suzuki Sirius, Grigora Mare Suzuki, Hohner Super 64X, Sonar Super 64. You've got, Seidel Symphony and Saxony too. There's a lot of different harps he has ready to go with buttons and sliders. But that's just a little bit more, what would I call this? Player impressions of the slider. I hope you enjoyed this. And again, I'm not trying to say that the slider is definitively better. I will say it's different. You'd have to decide if it's better or it's not. But most people get a bunch of them for their other harps too, and that says something too.